He got booed every time he touched the ball on the weekend, and he was exceptional. Yeah. And I think if he takes a quick trip to the county jail, he goes maximum security. Arsenal do not get near finishing in the 4.
Don't foreshadow this, man.
If Thomas Partey goes to jail, Arsenal do not get near the 4. That's what I'm saying. If Thomas Partey goes jail, Arsenal do not get near the top 4. He's their most influential player. I think he's their best player. Now that they have Jesus, I think he's their best player. But Thomas Partey, most influential.
Perfect.
3, 2, 1. Good morning, good afternoon, good night. Back with Let 'Em Shoot. Back for another week of discussions, football chat. You with my good friends. Who we got here on the right?
It's a boy MJ. Yeah, we here.
Hey.
We on the couch. What's that couch?
Hey, which one? The black one.
No.
Which one?
Yeah, we back. Happy to be here. Good vibes. What over there, man? Who's over there?
You want to go first? Or you want me to
I'll go first. It's Jordan with the B. Don't really got to say much. You guys know who I am. Appreciate the love. People in the streets are doing this now from last episode, so keep it up.
To his left.
Yeah.
Oh, to my left.
Pengus Tech is back in the studio. The vibes are right. You know, we got production in the building.
Thank you.
That's it. Fans, a couple fans.
That's it. Production behind the camera. Studio owners, everything.
Shout out Critch.
So good to be here.
Smoothly.
So good to be here.
Making sure it's running smoothly.
Oh, yeah.
Slowest to 1 million followers. That's me, baby.
Don't you miss that,
Let's
man.
go.
Yeah. And before we start the episode, obviously you got to do a couple things. Tell them, Mark. Tell them what they got to do.
Well, you got to watch the full video.
Yep.
Watch everything, 0 to minute finish, okay? Then from there, you like the episode. You subscribe to the episode. You leave some comments. You tell us, you know, what you feel, what you don't like, what you like. You follow all of us on Instagram, Twitter, you name
everything.
Yeah.
it. Watch our TikToks as well.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
Thanks, team.
Wait, you didn't even tell them who you are.
GGJ. Back again for another shift.
Hey.
And, you know.
And get YouTube Premium. Don't be broke.
Yeah, get YouTube Premium.
I'm not paying for that shit.
Yeah, I'm not on that wave yet.
Think I'm paying for that? No way.
If you
I'll
want it
watch
for
that.
less, you can send Bud the money.
Exactly.
$30 a month.
Yeah.
And he'll get YouTube Premium for free.
Our podcasts actually go for 10 minutes, but without that's with YouTube Premium.
Yeah.
Without YouTube Premium,
Yeah.
an hour and like 4 minutes.
Or ads.
You can just do there's a little trick Calvin showed me.
What?
You just press, I don't like this ad. Like,
Oh my God.
I don't
bro.
like
felt
this
such
ad.
a
And it
dickhead.
skips the ad. Every time,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kids, man.
Kids are
that
too smart
part
now.
out.
They are.
Yeah.
He skipped every ad.
You know how like
Damn, bro.
when you were a kid and your dad couldn't do some basic
Yeah.
stuff, you're like, this guy's an idiot. We're like that.
That's
now.
them now.
Absolutely. This weekend saw the kickoff of the Premier League. Some good fixtures, some bigger results. We saw some big teams struggle. And for the first topic, we're going to go through and name every team in the Prem's most important player.
Yeah.
Most important player. Not necessarily their best player,
Yeah.
but who we think, especially after watching this first round of games, who we think will be the most important player. And I think we all should have fairly different opinions because, you know, Bud's watching a game from this perspective,
Yeah.
MJ watching it from this perspective. So we're going to start off somewhere easy. We're going to go Southampton. Samuel, who is Southampton's most important player?
Free kick specialist, James Ward-Prowse.
Bud?
I'm gonna give it to yeah, different perspective. Yeah.
He's acting as though it's someone else.
Yeah.
Of course it's him.
I'm gonna be a think outside of the boxer. I'm gonna say Romeo.
Yeah, he's fuck. He's not.
Trying to be different.
I mean, for me, I think it definitely has to be Ward-Prowse.
Yeah.
Takes all the set pieces, top goal scorer from last year. He's the center to everything they do.
Everything.
I mean, you could argue that Gineppo, you know, he makes
He's
a
decent.
difference. He's decent, but it has to be
It's not
Ward-Prowse
most important
to me.
Yeah.
Like,
If Ward-Prowse doesn't play, you would think there's no chance they can win.
Instead of 4-1, they lose 4-0
Yeah.
without Ward-Prowse. So I have Ward-Prowse as well.
Actually, let me change mine. Not Ward-Prowse, not Romeo. Peter Walker's.
Yeah, Walker Peters. Okay,
Walker Peters.
he's a good player, but
Yeah.
I don't think it makes a difference.
There's only two people in that team
Doesn't
that
make
can
a
make the
difference.
England squad. It's
And when
Ward-Prowse and Carl
Livermento's there,
Walker-Peters.
when Livermento's there,
When
he
he's
doesn't
back.
even start.
When's he back? January?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think so.
right.
No.
Months.
Carl Walker-Peters goes on the right.
Yeah, he played on the right against Tottenham.
Yeah, but he goes on the other side and
When
Livermento
Livermento
starts.
plays, he plays on the left.
Yeah, they both start.
Yeah.
This show's gonna get kicked.
Let's go. Let's go. So hopefully something a bit harder. West Ham. Who is their most important player
You
this
think
year?
this is harder?
I think it is.
Nah.
Let me get started so I don't get stunted. I'm gonna go a guy that these guys probably won't have. Bowen.
That's who mine is.
Oh, really?
Jared Bowen is mine.
Mine's Declan Rice.
Mine's Declan Rice. I think, there's a fair shout for both.
Yeah.
I think so.
But I think with the signing of Maxwell Cornet now, they have options for the wing, more options than they have in midfield because they do not have another DM.
They definitely have more options. And Declan Rice is the better player, but Jared Bowen is, I guess, what would you say, like something out of nothing.
Yeah.
He can create something
Raw.
out of nothing.
Absolutely.
He's raw.
But I feel as though if Declan Rice is there, they're way more steady.
Absolutely.
For sure.
And I think he showed that in Europe. He showed that against some of the top
Exactly.
teams. He got them some good points from his big performances. And he actually proved me wrong last year as well.
Me too.
Last season, I thought
Me too.
Declan Rice a bit overrated this stat, but no, last year he held it down. He was quality.
Yeah. I'll always remember that episode.
Consistent.
I'll always remember that episode.
Shout out
It
to
was
Bud.
only me and you backing him up.
That's it.
What?
No, hey, well,
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
MJ sent me, I remember this.
I wasn't on it.
Yeah, but he
He didn't want to
the
be
messages, the
on it because
text
he knew,
messages.
yeah.
accountable. I used to think, this guy's overrated, but last year he was certified. It was
Yeah.
it was good.
He was very good. Very good.
Definitely. Starter for England, definitely. Let's go to a team which is, I guess, not too well known. Nottingham Forest. They've made a lot of signings. They had to ditch a lot of players from their old squad because obviously Championship is a whole different level to the Prem. Who is Nottingham Forest's most important player this season?
Who is it, MJ?
Well, I feel like they lost their most influential player.
Graben?
No, didn't they?
Spence.
Yeah,
Oh, Spence, yeah.
I feel like he was their most influential player, probably the player that I knew about the most. Now I'm just like,
You know who it is.
It's not.
Oh, Jay
If, this is my thing, ready? If Jesse Lingard can put in performances like he did when he went on loan to West Ham, they become a much, much, much better team than they are now. That's their X factor. That's how you win games. That's how you can beat the bad teams. That's how you can get those points against the good teams. Jesse Lingard plays to the best we know he can, to the best he has played at. I think he's their most important player.
are we buying into the whole West Ham?
I'm buying into it.
move? Do we have that? Do we think he's at that? He can get to that level at Nottingham?
No.
I'm buying it.
There was other players there. Like you said, there was Rice.
Yeah, he's playing in a good
Yeah,
team.
that's what I mean. Like, it wasn't just him.
Yeah.
But get that. They had Tots Rice.
They had Tots Ross.
They had Bowen. They had
They had,
Antonio.
Black Magic Antonio.
Exactly. That's when he was banging goals as well.
Yeah.
So it wasn't just Lingard. Who the hell did Nottingham have? right
And on
now?
top of that, Lingard's under 1 year deal. He does not give a fuck about Nottingham.
He's
He is
just
playing
playing for fun.
only for himself to get into the England squad.
And dance.
He does not care about anything. He's just going
He's
to
the
play for
X
himself.
factor.
And I think Nottingham's most important player this year will be Dean Henderson.
That's a good shout,
Yeah,
definitely.
I agree. I feel like Lingard does bring that Premier League experience, but outside of that, I think you get more out of something like Dean Henderson or players. Yeah, I don't even know. I couldn't even generally talk about Nottingham.
They've
Yeah.
made a lot of signings, so a lot of their new signings haven't even played.
Yeah, so
But let's go to a team which has hella black players. Crystal Palace lost their opening day game to a very, very good side, a very good Arsenal side. And for me, I'll start this off. I think if this guy doesn't perform, they win half as many games as they should. Wilfried Zaha. As much as he annoys me, he is their most important player, I think.
there's a shout there. I feel like Zaha is their main guy, but I think now you're looking at dudes like Eze. I think who's been given a lot more responsibility. You can tell that Vieira believes in him. He's got that creativity. He's got that spark to create things. And I think they're going to need somebody in the midfield this season, especially after losing Gallagher, who was one of their top performers, to hold it down. So, yeah, I think it's Zaha. Somebody who impressed me, though, was... But who was it?
My man Anderson.
Sheesh.
In a couple of months, this guy's going to be allowed to say the N-word too. Him, Smith, bro. You're going to be brothers.
Expert.
Brothers. He's the only reason Crystal Palace are not going to go down as... What's that NBA team? The Bad Boy Pistons. He's the only reason because he has to be captain. He has to be the one that talks to referees. Otherwise, Crystal Palace are getting nothing this year.
He's Bill Lambie.
Yeah. This guy, oh my days. Have you seen the drip he's been wearing to match days now?
He's not wearing the team
Bust
tracksuit.
down necklace. He doesn't even button up his thing anymore. The polo they get. Nothing. Watch him get a sleeve in like 2 weeks.
Samuel, who's Crystal Palace's most important
I
player?
have to go the same and say Zaha. You see... No, not Anderson. Because you see, even in the Arsenal game, he's not performing at his best. And... at so many times, he's the one who created the chance for Eze, who should have scored. He's the one who looked the most dangerous, causing lots of problems for Ben White. I think Zaha is their most important player.
This year, they could be up or down. Everton. This was, I think, one of the toughest ones, trying to find out if they have, first of all, any good players. Second of all, who their most influential players.
I think they got two, in my opinion, they got two clear influential players. And I think Doucouré in midfield and Anthony Gordon, I think for me, are probably their most influential players. And I think if you look at any game, Doucouré, he's everywhere. In the midfield, he's winning the ball back. He's trying to get forward. He's busy. I think, you take him out of the squad and that Everton side has different energy.
My most influential for Everton has to be... Look, I'm going to give it to Dele Alli. Early because... Is he still there?
Yeah.
Hear me out. Only because out of all the players they have there, he's probably one of the most talented players they have. And I feel like this could be his year. If Lampard trusts in him, then you never know. You could get the old Dele Alli back. I think he's the only player that if he's on, he'll win them games. Like he'll win them the 1-0s. The 2-1s. He'll do stuff this year.
You've obviously got something different.
Yeah, no, I think I agree with MJ and say Doucouré is the most influential. I would say Anthony Gordon is the best player, but I think Doucouré is the most influential. And one shout out, I think a signing that could make a big difference, hopefully for them, Tarkowski coming in definitely to shore up their backline because they were leaking goals at the end of last season.
Anthony Gordon is their best player.
Yeah.
I've gone with Allen as their most important player.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
I think Doucouré is a shout. I just think Allen gives them more stability.
Yeah.
But Anthony Gordon is their best player to me, but I just think Allen sort of gives them that platform to build.
Yeah. Way more level-headed as well. He's not giving away a pen like that.
He's not rash like that. But let's go Wolves.
I'm going to have to go and say Jose Sa. Last season, he was outstanding, phenomenal. They don't concede goals. Wolves don't concede goals. I think their biggest issue, well, obviously they conceded 2 first day, but their biggest issue last season...
And you saw the first goal.
Yeah, I did see it. But their biggest issue last season was that they could not score. So there were games that finished 0-0, there were games that finished 1-0 loss, whatever, but they had chances to score. Defensively, they always look solid. I don't know if it's to do with the formation, the setup, whatever. But Jose Sa was phenomenal.
I think that was the best at set pieces.
Yeah, defensively, he was phenomenal. So I'm gonna say he's the most
outside of the top 4.
But
that's actually a good one. But I'm gonna have to say my boy Eden Hazard 2.0 Potence.
He scored.
Techie player.
X factor for them. He can score goals, create as well. So I feel like if he's on, that team's looking nice. Not to win big games, but just the little ones they need the wins in. He'll definitely be on the score sheet every week or so.
Sorry?
So,
Potent.
Yeah.
On the score sheet every week.
He plays once every 6 games.
Yeah.
No.
He's techie though.
Very techie. X Factor.
Who do you have?
I've got half ahead Jimenez.
Yeah.
Because I think
he's
they
their
lack
guy.
goals.
Yeah.
And he was obviously hit and miss last year. Neto was injured for long parts of the season. And I think with him fully fit, he is their goal scorer. He's the only real goal scorer in the side. And I think he will either win them games or completely destroy their season. So I think he's their most important player.
Yeah, I mean, if we look at before he got injured, that Wolves were
13 or
very,
so
very
goals in the
solid
league.
side.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think I agree with that. I think we can argue that Foden's is maybe their best player technically.
Yeah.
I think you see how much the team changes when Jimenez is in form or not playing well.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's probably
No shout for Ruben Neves. I don't think he's the greatest, but
He didn't even come to my mind. Let's go to another team that struggled on the opening day. Liverpool.
Hey.
Who is Liverpool's most important player? Because it's obviously between two.
yeah. And
Go for it,
Yeah.
Liverpool.
I think it's so clear to me who our most important player is. I'd even say he's our best player. Not best technically, but I think he's our best player. Virgil van Dijk. You see,
a big van.
Yeah. He's our most important player. The season he was out, we were fourth. He hasn't lost a single game at home in the Premier League. Since we've signed him, we've become one of the best, if not the best defense in the league. He has become one of the best defenders, if not the best in the world. Virgil van Dijk.
Bud's not happy. My thing is,
He is our most important player.
I've gone Salah.
Bud just got sick.
Bud's feeling ill.
He's a Van Dijk hater.
I've gone Salah because I think since that Van Dijk injury, Liverpool have gained a lot of depth in the centre-back position. They've got Konate, they have Matip, and they have Joe Gomez, part-time footballer. 3 very good centre-backs in place if something did happen. If Salah goes out injured with no Mane, Liverpool struggle, I think, for as long as he's out. I don't know how they get goals out of nothing. He is the world's jammiest striker. He is the best poacher in the world, and I don't think if he does not play, Liverpool don't win half the games.
The thing is, last season, Salah and Mane went for AFCON. We played 6 games, won all 6.
Of course.
Goals weren't an issue.
Of course.
But Van Dijk goes out of the team at any time, any instance, we become so much worse. Salah is literally... He's a good player who fits the system. Obviously, he's a great goal scorer. But you see when Jota plays in the team, you see Luis Diaz comes in and performs straight away. Jota comes in and scores goals. He's not a great player, but he scores goals. He suits the system. We played 6 games without Salah and Mane last season, won all 6.
But that's not because Van Dijk was injured. I don't think you've had, since he's injured that he's come back from, he hasn't been injured again for it to be like, we're bad now without him.
And you didn't have Konate when he was injured.
But we were bad without him when we got injured.
You got players now, so it's like we don't know if like you're gonna be bad without him or better without him. So
obviously, we're not going to be better without him.
Or you
I don't know.
probably won the game on the weekend if you didn't have him.
He makes the team so much more safe, and every game is way more safe having him in the team, but so much more comfortable.
By the way, this is recorded after the Liverpool game.
Yeah.
So this is after he's watched what happened.
Yeah, he made a mistake. Yeah,
not just one mistake.
It wasn't even a pen.
He got spun by a truck.
It's not a pen.
Anyway. How can a truck get spun by a truck?
It's not a pen. It's not a pen.
What do you mean it's not a pen? You're the only one in the world. You and your other Liverpool army gang are the only people in the world that think that's not a pen.
You're the only person in the world.
But tell him
100%.
You think one game can change that someone's not their most important player?
No,
do we not watch Salah play shit in the game?
I've been consistent. I've been saying this guy is shit ever since the injury.
Well, he was in team of the season last year, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Who?
Van Dijk.
Obviously, because his team came second.
Obviously, because his team came second.
If Van Dijk's team came fourth,
was Matip in the team?
Forget about
was
it.
Was Konate in the team?
Forget about it.
No.
Matip was better
Robertson
than him.
in the team? No.
Matip was 100% better than him.
But who is Liverpool's most important player?
Liverpool's most important player is Sasha Bob at the front, Mo Salah. This guy is so jammy, he can close his eyes and score goals. Yes. Not because he's good, it's because the fucking ball just falls at his feet. You saw what happened? The defender flicked it on to another jammy player who you just bought for 100 and whatever mil, who then tried to shoot and somehow jammed it into Salah's running pace. Salah didn't even shoot. He was running.
Yeah.
And the ball just hit him and went in.
In a game where Salah played terrible as well, goal and assist, essentially.
He created all the chances. Yeah.
There.
Yeah,
And
he did. He created.
And if your striker wasn't shit, he would have had 3 assists. Salah.
Yeah. Mike?
For me, it's a weird one because I feel like you can look at it from one perspective of like, you look at Henderson, like he's not a good footballer, but he adds a lot to the team. Defensively, I think Van Dijk is huge. He might not play well, but I think what he brings to the team, his impact on the squad as a whole, he's influential. But, I mean, we have to look at Mo Salah. In terms of goals, in terms of having the worst performances and making a difference, he does that. And I think right now, given that you've got a new striker in this side, you know, he might score goals. We don't know. Mane's gone. I think you're going to rely on him more than anybody in the team to perform or to get a goal, to
score, not to perform.
Especially with
to
no
score.
creative midfielders.
Yeah, you know, because I
have a creative midfielder.
I think right now he's the
No, you
most
don't.
important. Salah.
100%.
Another title contender, I guess. They've been dubbed by a lot of players, a lot of pundits, a lot of commentators. Spurs. Who is Spurs' most important player?
Mine's.
There's actually a lot now.
Because I've gone Son.
I've gone Harry Kane.
I've gone Kane.
I don't know. It's weird
But it could also be Romero.
because defensively it could be Romero.
Yeah.
In the midfield, I mean, as much as I don't think he's a good footballer, he brings a lot to the team in Højbjerg.
Yeah.
Because defensively he's everywhere. He wins the ball
Everywhere.
back. Transition, he can get forward. He can get back. You know that. But I think right now it might have to be Son.
I'm saying Harry Kane based off.
It's a tough one.
I feel as though the team revolves more around his ability to create for Son and for the other players. But having Kulusevski as well there to take that away from him a little bit, the burden of creating. I don't know. When Harry Kane wasn't performing, they weren't playing too well. Then towards the end of last season, he started performing. They started being better. He started scoring more goals, setting up more goals. And
Yeah.
there again, he was at the top of their charts.
I'm going to say Kane as well.
Okay.
Just because he's a presence. So when he's on, he's always drawing attention. And that kind of helped Son's game more.
That's
Yeah.
true.
When it's just Son on, it's easy to just focus on like Son, what he's going to do, his movements. But when Kane's on the field, you're going to have to worry about both. And if you're worrying about both, Kane easily could just drop in, lay Son
Make
off.
something happen.
Yeah, make something happen.
Just a quick question. Who is likely to perform at the highest level without the other playing?
I think we've seen Kane do it.
100%.
Yeah.
Kane.
Yeah.
I agree. I think Son has the ability, but Kane has just shown it more
Yeah.
time and
By
time
himself.
again
Yeah.
by himself with worse players
Yeah.
that he can still score goals. He can make things happen, win games for Tottenham. So I think it is Kane. This one I think is another tough one, not because they have the best players, but Leicester City.
Oh,
Who is Leicester City's best player? Because for me,
Best player or most?
most important. So who is Leicester City's most important player?
Yeah.
They got some quality. Because, like, let's name them off. They've got what? Ndidi, who we can argue is important.
Important because
Um,
Tielemans,
Madison, who we can argue is important. Tielemans.
Vardy.
Yeah. So
it's hard.
it's hard because they all offer complete different attribute. Like, they all have completely different attributes. They offer different skill sets to the team.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And you need all of them, though, for Leicester to work.
Yeah, you need
Like,
all
if
of them
one's
together.
missing, it won't work for them. They'll lose games.
Yeah.
So is it safe to say, like, the core? You can say those four are the...
They are. But if you have to pick one. So who's your one?
But my one is James Maddison.
Mine is James Maddison as well.
I'm going to say Vardy. Just because Tielemans can create, but if they have no one up front, who's gonna put them away for them? I feel like Vardy is their man.
That's
Like,
true.
Every season.
Iheanacho's been clutch here and there, but
Yeah,
Vardy's been
inconsistent.
Yeah,
He
Vardy
lasts. Vardy, yeah. And he'll get to like 16, 17 goals out of nowhere.
Nothing. Yeah.
And you just be like, what the heck?
Yeah, that's true.
I think for me this season, Tielemans, I think he's going to be the most important player.
Yeah.
I think we saw last year towards the back end of the season that he was starting to hit good form. I think he was starting to peak. So I think if he brings that energy to this year, yeah, for me, he's going to be their main guy.
Does Tielemans potentially leaving derail their season then?
It has a big impact. I think, like we said earlier, when that's a core piece to their
100%.
main team, their main structure. So I think if he leaves, that's a big hole.
Let's go. A team that picked up a big point on the weekend. Very easy. I don't think we need to go around, but Fulham.
Mitrovic.
Mitrovic, yeah. But I mean, do we rate Pereira? Do we think he could have
I think he had a big effect in the game. Defensively, in terms of his work rate, in terms of making forward runs, getting him behind,
100%.
he was actually very
He's
good.
pretty good as well.
But
Creative.
if Mitro's not scoring, they're not winning.
They're not winning any games.
Nah.
If Mitro's not scoring, they're not winning and they're going back down.
They're going straight back down.
But if he's performing, he's scoring every second game, they're staying up and they're doing very well.
Do you reckon Van Dijk's still
Oh, shut up.
still haunted? That guy put him on skates, cuz.
I've never even seen Mitrovic move like that.
You can only do that to somebody who's even less mobile.
100%. I reckon Mitrovic started stretching as soon as he knew the season was clinched in the championship.
Yeah.
He's been like, I need to be more mobile,
Yep.
more duress.
Yeah.
He said, Van Dijk, first game of season, no worries. Hop on my back, cuz. Let's go ice
Samuel,
skating.
thoughts? No, nothing. All right, let's go Brentford. Stay in London. Brentford. For this Brentford one, I think they're such a unit, such a system-based team that it was very hard to decide. So I just went for their best player, Mbeumo.
Yeah,
100%. I mean,
same.
Sorry? Oh, yeah.
Mbeumo.
Mini Depay.
More techie than Depay, yeah.
My thinking is similar to Mitrovic. It's if Ivan Toney doesn't score, I think they go back down.
Doesn't score how many?
If he doesn't score 10, if he doesn't score 11, I think they go down. If he doesn't perform, I feel as though
I think he can easily not perform though. Oh, you just mean score?
score.
Okay,
If
yeah.
if he's not scoring, they're not winning games, and they're not staying up.
Fair enough.
but towards the back end of the last year, he wasn't really performing or scoring.
Yeah.
And it was
Yeah.
more
That's true.
Mbeumo who had the better games.
I think
Not that they're
Mbeumo-
winning.
I think Mbeumo's a much
agree.
better player than Toney, but I think Toney is the focal point.
Which makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Which makes sense.
He did score on the weekend.
yeah, he did.
Tony.
Yep.
He'll get the early league goals, and then towards the mid and end he'll dry out. I feel like.
Let's talk about a team who is in a lot of strife at the moment. Picked up a win on the weekend, but it wasn't convincing at all. Chelsea Football Club. Who is going to be their most important player this season? Because I think it is between a few players.
Yeah, 100%.
You guys want me to go first because I wrote a little bit.
You go for Chelsea,
A little
so-
poem. Yeah.
I think mine will be the same as yours.
I think Chelsea's most important player, not best, not worst, most important player is Edouard Mendy.
Oh, no, that's not mine.
Hear me out.
Okay.
I've picked Mendy because one, he's a presence in the box. We all know he's 6'10" or whatever.
Yeah.
So
Or maybe.
yeah,
Yep.
no, 6'7" I think.
Is he that tall?
He's
fucking
tall.
tall, but
He's tall.
I don't know about 6'7".
He's not called
That's
to
like
a height.
That's like that Pantilimon.
No, Pantilimon was 7. Papa Pantilimon was 7.
Sorry, I'll look it up.
But yeah, he's a presence, and I feel like without a distinguished striker this year, we're not going to be scoring a lot of goals from open play. It'll be more set pieces, corners, free kicks, pens. That we're going to have to rely on our clean sheet ability.
I'm gonna say the most important player at Chelsea is Jorginho, and I think because when he's not there, they don't play the same. He makes them tick. He makes them have the ball the way that they have the ball. He makes the tempo perfect. He gets the other midfielders like Mason Mount, like Kovacic, like Kante, gets them involved, gets the forwards involved, gets the back line, progresses the ball from the back line into the forwards. And then when he's not there, you just feel like there's something missing.
Yeah.
So that's my shout. And I'm someone who doesn't think he's the best player the best midfielder. But I definitely think he's good. I definitely think he has quality, and I think he's their most important.
For me, it's Mason Mount. As much as I don't really, I respect his game. I don't really like him, but I respect his game. I think if he does well, he's going to contribute goals. His work rate is up there, and I think he's a big piece to getting Chelsea firing, especially without a striker.
Mine is Reece James.
That was my other one. Yeah,
I think mainly because the two wing-back positions in the Chelsea formation are the two of the most important positions in the team. I think when Reece James and Chilwell got injured last year, yes, it was at the same time, but that was the detriment of Chelsea. They went downhill. They were first and they went downhill mainly because their replacements weren't good enough to come in. And I think at that right wing back position, they have no depth at all.
Zero.
It's if they do play somebody there, it's Azpilicueta where that's not his natural position, or it's a winger who's playing out of position. So they can't do the defensive side of the position, but they're just there going forward. Reece James, defensively very strong. Going forward, very strong.
Amazing.
Scored goals last year, set up goals. I think overall he's a presence. He's definitely a big plus to have if they're trying to fight any teams. So I think for me, Reece James, is Chelsea's most important player. We're flying. Let's go to Leeds.
See, that's another one like Wolves where anyone, you could say anyone and you could be right. So,
and in saying that,
I'm going to have to go their keeper.
Melier.
Melier, yeah. I think he's the only one. He's the only keeper that's fit for the way they play. If he gets injured and the backup comes in, you can tell it's not working. You can tell they don't trust him.
Yeah, facts.
You can tell they're not playing the way they Leeds want to play. So yeah, I feel like a Mount at Chelsea. He's the guy. No, Jorginho at Chelsea. He's the guy that makes the team tick from the back.
I'm gonna just say a different one and say Brentford.
That's mine.
I think the fact that they have lost Rafinha, who was their most influential player, and he contributed goals, assists. He was big for them. He basically kept them up last season. I think if Leeds want to be back to where they were the season before last, Bamford was performing. He was scoring goals. I think he finished with 13 or so in the league. If he can get back to that, it's happy days. They're safe.
Absolutely.
He's a big player, but if he doesn't, I can really see them going down.
Yeah, absolutely. Bamford's mine as well. Injured for large parts of last year, and I think they struggled to score goals. Struggled to hold the ball up. Rodrigo was there, but Dan James was a terrible 9 last year for Leeds.
What's the light skinned guy's name that plays striker?
Roberts.
Roberts was terrible. Awful. One of the worst players probably in the whole league.
A team that picked up a fucking big win yesterday. Brighton and Hove Albion as well.
And Hove.
Yeah. So I'll start it off. Who I think is their most important player would have been Basuma, but it is now Lewis Dunk.
Lewis Dunk, that's mine. It's got to be.
Big unit, big presence.
Solid.
Captain, I think. I may have made that
captain.
up. But
captain.
He is, I think he is a big part of that Brighton team.
Brighton Albion's most important player, or most important squad member in the team, is Graham Potter.
Okay, so
we're not doing most important
fake
player.
He is. He's that important that he's the 12th man.
Yeah, I agree.
half these teams I could have done coaches then.
You can't.
Yeah.
No,
Fulham,
it's different.
Bournemouth.
I don't even need to say much. They beat Man U 2-1
Liverpool.
at Man U with no Basuma, with no Mupe, with 34-year-old Danny Welbeck.
No Cucurella.
No Cucurella. Shaved.
Star for Chelsea.
No Afro Danny Welbeck played. And did he score?
No, he set up the first.
He
goal.
set up. He's turned Danny Welbeck into an assister. Man, like he's Ozil now. Tell me what other coach can do that shit right now. Off the top of your head, 3, 2, 1. Exactly. None. No one. Graham Potter, my hat's off to you, man. Amazing.
Speaking of Ozil, let's go Arsenal quickly. I think for me it's obvious, but it's Thomas Partey.
Whoa.
He got booed every time he touched the ball on the weekend, and he was exceptional. Yeah. And I think if he takes a quick trip to the county jail, he goes maximum security. Arsenal do not get near finishing in the 4.
Don't foreshadow this, man.
If Thomas Partey goes to jail, Arsenal do not get near the 4. That's what I'm saying. He's their most. I don't think he's.
I think the club knows that.
It's a big shout for him being their best player.
Knows that as well.
Yeah.
They're putting him under.
Yeah.
Somebody said in the next episode, or next season of Arsenal All or Nothing, Arteta's going to be playing with booze every time Partey touches the ball at training to get him ready for the game.
No, the thing is, watch Arsenal All or Nothing have no Thomas Partey in it because they don't want any evidence of what's happened. He's going to be not even near the next episodes of All or Nothing.
What do you mean? He's not even in them. He's not there. He doesn't even train.
I've seen him once and we're up to the 3rd episode. If Thomas Partey goes jail, Arsenal do not get near the top 4. He's their most influential player. I think he's their best player. Now that they have Jesus, I think he's their best player. But Thomas Partey, most influential.
For me, Arsenal's most important player is
the Mbappe of centre backs.
Ramsdale.
Oh,
hear me out.
Rambo.
I rate that.
Now that Arsenal do not have a good enough backup keeper, Ramsdale's more important than ever. Now that he's got a solid foundation in front of him, it will help him keep or win Arsenal points as well. You know how when De Gea kept winning points for United, that's going to be a Ramsdale now. I mean, he's going to be that now. I feel like he's got the defense.
Yeah, was that last
100%. And I think he'll do that again this year. He'll win them the games where they will need to just lock up shop. And
do you think even
he
with
can do
the Mbappe of centre backs in front of him,
I'm saying that
he's gonna?
You don't need to say that
because
I think it will help him be more confident,
and especially with the way that Arteta wants to playing out from the back, he's almost. He's probably this. I would say he's the second best keeper at playing out.
Did you see what he did the other day? He put it here. Whoosh.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah. And that's exactly why Arsenal started to really perform.
Exactly.
Because we're missing out on how he played out from Leno. As soon as Ramsdale comes in, he's playing balls between the lines.
Let's go Bournemouth quickly. We're gonna have to stay on them too long.
Really
I've gone the midfield general. A little bit of research. He was their second highest goal scorer last year in the in the Championship. He had the highest assists, and that's Billing.
He's finally getting his shot.
That tall
freak.
Fuck it. Solanke's brother.
Yes,
Mings' his cousin.
Solanke's brother, Mings the uncle.
He's my...
That's funny.
Man, I swear that guy's been at the...
He's been there since he didn't start.
Yeah.
He used to be always on the bench.
Sheesh. How many years is that?
That's a lot of years.
Sam has a Jordan Ibe jersey, and Billing was there at the time.
100%.
So... you guys got anybody else? Loma?
If Dom's like he can score, he can be their most important. But
Neto.
I feel like
Neto gets a shout. I mean, he could
shout.
You need a good keeper for a shit team.
Except Travis put in a bloody performance against Villa, so
yeah, you never know.
That's true. Let's go City quickly. And for me, mine was a player, and I wiped him out, and it's now Haaland because it was KDB, but you look at who City have got rid of this year. And it's Sterling and Jesus. All the options for 9 are gone. If Haaland gets injured,
it's wraps.
I do not know what City do in that front three. Yes, they can play Alvarez for a few games, but for a whole season, I think Haaland is a player who's going to score goals regardless of the fixture. And obviously KDB is their best player by far.
Haaland isn't even in the top 3 or 4 best players.
Yeah, absolutely. But important, he showed it.
I 100% agree with you. I was going to say it's Haaland because I looked up and I know from watching KDB and City, the season where...
He'd been getting injured.
The season where they won the league, there was a season where he played under 20 games and they won the league. And last season, he wasn't performing for the maybe first 13, 14 games of the season, wasn't at his best. Bernardo Silva stepped up, performed. Gundogan stepped up, performed. Rodri, immense. I don't think...
Calvin Phillips, Foden can play.
Calvin Phillips there now. I genuinely don't think he's their most important, but he's by far their best player.
Yeah. What do you guys think?
100%.
Yeah, I mean, obviously KDB is their best player, but I mean, watching Haaland, devastating. His movement's devastating.
He's a lightning.
Any guy that runs like this.
6'4" and you can run like that?
I couldn't believe the way this guy was moving.
Man.
He was blowing past defenders, giving himself that much time to open up, finish. Tell me who you've seen ever as a striker
None.
open up, finish, and then just slot it.
Outside the
with
box.
ease.
calm.
Outside the box.
And to
Unbelievable.
be able to run at that pace,
Unbelievable.
get in behind the defense so it looks as though you're not even playing with offside rules.
Every time it looks like he's offside.
Yeah.
And he's made his run 3 meters behind.
Man.
He's a lightning.
The keeper comes on. He sees it.
Yeah, Ariola.
He sees his ball. He's like, I'm gonna come get this. The way he
gets to the ball first, touches it perfectly away
You
from
think
the
a
keeper.
winger did
wins
that
the
shit?
penalty.
he adds such a huge dimension to City's game now. It's like they can score from anywhere. They can score now
Any
from
types of goals.
from over the top
Crosses.
in between the lines. He'll get there. Anything he'll get there.
nah.
It's phenomenal. Like
He adds a lot.
it's
And when
it's
teams
crazy.
are chasing a game against City, that just gives them a whole nother outlet.
You leave Haaland
Let's
up
just
there.
play balls in behind.
it's
and,
crazy.
and we're going to get
And
chased.
we saw that's the goal against West Ham.
And he will happily chase every ball.
And for
Doesn't
what they
care.
wanted, this is exactly the piece
Yeah.
they wanted. So I think he has to be the most influential.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
But
think
is yours different, bud?
No.
Oh.
And Kane not signing has been the blessing
they
in
still
disguise.
won the league.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Kane is not chasing any of them balls ever.
nah.
Kane would not have ran to that. Would never got up the penalty. Would never opened side foot from that far. No, he wouldn't even got there.
Yeah, thanks. All right, let's do Newcastle quickly. Newcastle.
Ooh.
This one's very simple.
Yeah,
He
for
turned
me.
their season around for me. Bruno Guimaraes,
Yeah.
their best
It
player.
has to be a no-brainer.
He's elite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have two, but you guys did Guimaraes. I'm going to go Wilson.
I was going to go Wilson if Gamara was taken.
I love Wilson, man.
And he's done for no reason
Deny
as well.
Guimaraes' favorite player of all time.
Look, the way he violated Arsenal, oh my days. I was like, yeah, no, I did not see Newcastle play with that kind of intensity like when Wilson was back in the side.
Facts.
He's a demon.
He's a 15-goal striker, and for a team that's fighting for European spots, I think you're not going to get much better. You're not really signing a 20-goal
Yeah,
striker.
no,
if
never.
You're in 6 to 10 region.
Yeah.
That's why they go there.
Yeah.
And every team he's at, he performs.
100%.
All right, let's go last one. The worst team in Manchester,
In the Prem.
Man United. Who is their most important player, and why is it David De Gea?
It's not.
Tell me who it is.
Okay. Man U's most important player for me. Firstly, their most important player doesn't play for them yet. Secondly, their most important player is Bruno Fernandes. I feel as though if he's performing, all the cracks, everything is hidden. If he's scoring, if he's setting up goals, everything else that's happening seems irrelevant. And the reason that it's not David De Gea, Ten Hag wants to play out from the back, and De Gea is probably the worst keeper playing out from the back. But it's Bruno Fernandes.
I just think, for me, you can choose between playing out from the back right now or conceding 85 goals. Yes, you can play out from the back, but once you lose the ball, your midfield's getting turned around quickly. Your centre-backs are awful, and when you're conceding 20 shots a game, the only player that's going to give you a chance to stay in the game is De Gea right now. I think United are awful, and getting a ball-playing keeper is the least of their worries at the moment.
This is hard.
Yeah. For me, I think I'd agree if they got a draw. But I think now the structural issues in midfield, they've got no striker. They've got Rashford, who I don't think he knows what he wants to do again.
Is it a shout to be Ronaldo?
100%.
I mean, it has to be, because I feel like if Ronaldo's there, he's scoring goals, he's clutching it up.
18 goals last season in the Prem.
But for me, it could be Eriksen. I think he showed, especially the latter half of the game, once he dropped deeper, once he got on the ball,
Looks good.
that's exactly what they needed from midfield. So it's a weird one. I want to say Bruno, but I think he needs somebody deeper or more of a central midfielder for him to perform again. That's what I think. Because we saw it last season when Fred was good. I think that's where we saw a different side to Bruno's game that we hadn't seen before. But if we're not going to get a Fred like that, I think Bruno's going to be pretty useless. And I think he showed that he just wasn't.
He wasn't in the game.
Yeah, he just wasn't in the game. So I think they need a midfielder. And I think right now, who's in the squad, I think Eriksen is the key for them to become better than they are.
That's why I said their most important player is not he's not at the club yet.
You're right.
Buzz.
It's CR7. Cristiano Ronaldo is Manchester United's most important player. Can you tell me how Ronaldo can go third behind Salah and Son, who've had Son probably had his best season.
Yeah, he did. Salah had a second best season, I think.
And how can Ronaldo in a depressed Manchester United team come third? And you guys sit there on the other side of this and tell me that he's not their most important player.
But I feel like, I think he's one of their most influential because of who he is.
Exactly.
I think
because that's important.
I think anything he does has a huge impact.
I was going to say.
That's important, but
I don't necessarily think it's because he's so good. I just think he's because it's who he is.
But him on doesn't mean he has to do anything. Him coming on that's it. That's already that whatever that is, he's won that battle.
He changes their whole style.
Well, let's stay on this for a second.
But it's like,
is that one of United's issues? Can that also be flipped to be one of their biggest issues?
100%.
Him on the bench is one of the biggest talking points from the game. That's the biggest focus. Yeah. The manager is never going to implement anything with Ronaldo being
100%
in the side
at the club.
Plus, you've got people above the footballing staff.
Yeah.
You got a guy who's got 20 plus goals on the bench, put him on the field. Of course. The issue is they've got a goal scorer who has goals, but then it's like, for how the gaffer wants to play, I don't think Ronaldo is a key to that. So I think it's such a weird position to be in, where you got a guy who's going to score you goals, and he's the only guy who's going to score goals, but then is he going to fit into the team, and how does he impact the team when he plays?
Yeah, is he going to
need... For that to land, you need a team. United don't have a team. So what you guys are saying is correct, but they don't have a team for Ten Hag to play ball.
Agreed.
Or a playing style for them to adapt. They don't have anything right now or anything to go off. At least with other teams in previous seasons, like for instance Arsenal, they had a playing style, and so players like a Ronaldo thing won't fit because they've got a style and they're basing it off the style, not a player like bringing in a Ronaldo. So like for United to be like Ronaldo won't play, what do you have that's better?
Can I raise a point to you? Can I raise a point to you? I think last season we saw Marcus Rashford have his worst season in a Man United shirt. We saw Bruno Fernandes play his worst in a Man United shirt, and we saw Jadon Sancho play his worst in his career. Left wing, right wing, 10. The guy in the middle scored his goals.
Yep.
But having him there, do you not think that's a big impact to the three people nearest to him all had their worst seasons possible in a Man United shirt, but he scored 18 goals. They were bad as a team, and the three people directly closest to him had their worst seasons.
You could say that if you just saw the stats and the minutes these guys played and be like, yeah, that's correct. It could be Ronaldo that's the problem. But when you were watching them, they were bad themselves. It wasn't that it was Ronaldo that was the problem. They were bad.
But do you think
Bruno was bad? When Sancho was bad.
As bad as we're saying. I thought Bruno showed a different level to his game that we hadn't seen. I think we were used to a Bruno that was scoring goals, getting behind.
Yeah.
Whereas now I think we saw a Bruno who was a bit more creative. It was linking. You know what I mean? So I don't necessarily agree with the Bruno part. But I agree he had to adjust his game completely because of Ronaldo.
Do you think that in order, if there was a priority list for Ten Hag, where does the Ronaldo situation come on the list? Does signing new players come before? Does implementing the playing style come before? What is United's biggest problem right now?
Playing style.
I think it's playing style.
Playing style. Because then you have a reason to tell him or be like, you're not playing. Because you're not going to work.
I think
But
it's signing.
how many? This has been so many seasons where
Every
they bought
year,
players
I think
without a
so too.
style. Like they bought Sancho, but
They didn't have a
no style. They bought Fernandes. They had no style. They bought
And the thing is, every year, though,
yeah.
I think it's
Like-
clear with the appointment of Ten Hag, they went
to
for
get
that
a style.
route.
100%.
They've changed
Let's
it.
bring this guy in who has a clear vision, has a clear style. This is how we want to play, and let's let him enforce that. But
Are they letting him do that?
are they letting him do that?
No.
One, does he have the current players
No.
to do that? Two,
No.
and is that style ever going to be enforced
No.
while Ronaldo's at the club?
No,
But
all knows.
That's what I mean. But let the style be there for you to be able to tell him you're not playing.
But the thing, like, so my argument is, for how he wants to play and how he's shown
Yeah.
he can play as a manager, he needs the players, right?
Exactly. So
He's not. He's. I don't think the board at United is letting him, because he's come out and said, "I need 9 players,
yeah.
right, to play the
Yeah.
style he wants." All right, he's not going to get that. But now the problem is he's got Ronaldo in his side, who has such a huge influence on the side outside of football. So when he doesn't play, why isn't he playing? When you see him on the bench. His energy, he's dark. He's like talking back.
Yeah.
It's just a huge. So I think that's probably his biggest problem right now is managing Ronaldo, because either he wants to leave and he can't leave, or he wants to play and he doesn't fit the system. He's got to change the way he plays.
Yeah.
So it's a lose-lose situation on top of not having the squad.
I
that he
think
wants.
one of my things is when we look at Man U, it's still they need to perform, they need to play, they need to win, they still need to challenge for top 4. But I think when Liverpool rebuilt,
Yeah.
when Liverpool rebuilt, when Arsenal currently rebuilding, when Tottenham had a mini rebuild, I think the thing is, it's not for Man U. It's they need to perform. Their fan base, they need to perform. Everyone around it, they need to perform. The players they have, they need to perform. I feel as though when Klopp came in, implemented a style, didn't go straight away and sign all these players because Liverpool didn't have the same type of money, but didn't sign all these players. But now when you look at the team, it's a whole completely new team. But I feel as though you have to build the foundation of the way that they play first.
Yeah.
Then with the players you have, bring in a few players to help it move more smoothly than it is. But I think the first thing is, this is the way we play. This is what we expect from everyone. This is what we expect from each individual position. I think having Ronaldo there is like, it's literally like this with a coach, with any manager. It's the reason I think he left Madrid. It's the reason I think he left Juve, because you can't implement a style at the moment with Ronaldo. And I don't think with this current Ronaldo, you can implement a style to have winning football. That's my thinking.
I think you're right. And I think Ronaldo is one of the biggest issues. Obviously, we know his ability. We know what he can bring to the side. But realistically, if you're a coach who's trying to prove yourself and implement your style of play, it's not going to happen with a player, one, of that age,
Yeah.
and two, with that stature. Like Ronaldo,
He's got too much power.
it's too much. Every press conference is going to be about Ronaldo. Until he leaves, it's going to be about Ronaldo. Every interview is going to be about Ronaldo. Anything that happens regarding off the field, on the field moments is going to be in some way, oh, how is Ronaldo involved in this? And I think United currently have too many players that if they're not in the team or not in the side, there's going to be issues. If Rashford doesn't play, there's going to be confusion. If Maguire gets removed from the squad, there's going to be confusion to why. And the press, I think, will have a field day with United this year just because there's too many issues around that squad.
I got a question. Do you think United, say they do take out Ronaldo, they don't play him, but he's not sold, so they don't play him. Do you think they're going to be playing a better, with the players they have right now, do you think they can play better?
I think so.
I think so. This is why it's such an interesting thing, is because they'll be better from a footballing perspective, but I think they could still struggle to score goals.
Exactly.
So that's why I see both sides, because it's like you got a dude who could score 20 goals in the league, right?
Yeah.
But he ruins the way you play, and he doesn't complement your style of football. So
Yeah.
it's like, what's the trade-off if you can't get the players you want?
He
So
doesn't
that's-
contribute to winning though.
No, but that's the
He
thing.
showed last year.
United have to sacrifice making top four
Absolutely.
for a year.
That's what I'm
or something
saying.
If they're not going to play Ronaldo.
Absolutely.
Like,
Yeah. That's what I'm
have
saying.
to.
You're gonna have to be like, you can't pick both. You
Yeah.
want the good football,
Exactly.
and you're not gonna get it.
You're right.
I think United will have to finish if Ten Hag gets rid of Ronaldo. They're going to finish with it between the 6 to 8 region.
And accept
Yeah.
it. They're
And
gonna
accept
have to
it.
be like,
Accept it.
look, this is reality. We're gonna have to now rebuild and start their rebuild now.
It's what they need, though. You can't every year do make 3-4 big signings, then challenge for the 4th spot, then everyone's upset because you finish 5th or you finish 6th, and then you look at your squad, we've spent millions and millions and millions, and then next season we fire our coach, we get a new coach, do the exact same thing you did with the last coach, and have a coach who's a board, who I don't even think it's the coach who's signing the players. With Ten Hag, I think these players that he signed are ones he wants, but with the coaches before, I feel as though Moyes was getting players that, I mean, not Moyes, Ole was getting players that the board wanted them to sign. They were getting players that
Absolutely.
marketing, perfect PR, perfect big money players. But it's not the same as when Liverpool are signing players, they're scouting them properly.
Yeah.
When Arsenal are signing the players that they are right now, they're fitting in perfectly to the style. Man City are signing players, it's exactly what they need. When even Chelsea signings, it's what they need.
Yeah.
Except for a striker, obviously. But the players that they have signed, it's what they need.
And yeah, I think if you look at who United have signed, it's you can see the direction Ten Hag
Absolutely.
wants to go
Definitely.
in. And you can see already after a year, the 4 signings they made last year were Ronaldo, Varane, Sancho, and Alex Telles. Alex Telles is gone.
Varane's benched.
Varane is on the bench. Ronaldo is on the bench. Sancho plays. So 3 of the 4 that you signed last year gone. Which means that I guess he knows what he wants to do, but it's whether he'll get the opportunity to do it.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
I think we call it there.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
We got him.
It's been Let Him Shoot. Thank you for joining us. Please like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell.
Yep. Follow me on Instagram and the page also. But me too.
Cop a Tesla.